Welcome, dear listeners. Today's satsang begins with the timeless wisdom of Saint Kabir Ji, who compares the restless mind to a bird without wings. This bird keeps flying here and there, without direction, without peace. Wherever it finds desire, it enters into it, and then moves on again. Saint Kabir Ji reminds us that the greatest trap is not Maya alone, but pride. Pride devours even the wisest of sages and leads to destruction. From Ravana to Hitler, from Alexander to Stalin, history shows us how pride always comes before a fall. But the saints and seers tell us that the same mind which wanders in illusion can also rise to devotion. The mind has three states: thought, silence, and devotion. Through stories of Buddha, Mahavira, Shankaracharya, and Tulsidas, we will see how the mind, though restless, can be guided back to the Lord. Just as a bird has two choices, to wander restlessly below or to soar to the heights of wisdom above, we too must choose. Let us pray that our mind may be free from lust, greed, anger, and pride, and become absorbed only in the Lord. For in that union lies true peace, true bliss, and true freedom.
Today Kabir Ji's first couplet is: Man panchi bin pankh ka, jahan tahan udi jaye. Man bhave taako mile, ghat mein aan samaye. Means, the mind is like a bird without wings, flying here and there. It wanders everywhere, chasing what it wants and desires. And whenever it finds that, the mind enters into it. The second couplet is: Maya taji to kya bhaya, maan taja na jaye. Maan bade munivar gale, maan saban ko khaye. Means, what is the use of renouncing the illusion of Maya? It is pride, it never leaves us. Even the great sages of the world are trapped in pride. Pride harms, consumes, and devours us in every respect. So, in short, it can be said that the mind is like a bird without wings that keeps flying here and there. It keeps moving without any control. But this bird is such that it has no wings. It does not even need to flap wings. By thought alone it can reach anywhere. Wherever it feels good, it stays there for a moment. Then it leaves that state, and in the next moment it moves to another state. It keeps changing its states. In whichever state it stays, it dissolves into it for that moment, and then comes out again. If you go deeper, you will find that the mind has only three states. The first state is thought. In this worldly state, the mind always keeps wandering in thoughts. Sometimes one thought, sometimes another thought. It never remains steady on a single thought. This is its worldly state. The second state of mind is when you go deep into meditation. Then the mind becomes completely silent. So silent that it is as if it has no power left. It becomes still in one place. The third state of the mind is the state of devotion, the state of feeling. In this state the mind remains in devotion to the Lord and stays in peace. This is the highest state. The state of peace, or the state of knowledge, or the state of devotion does not come by itself. For this one must practice, and it comes only by the grace of the Lord. The first state is a self-operated state. In this you do not need to do anything. You just keep wandering like a bird. All our effort should be only to come into the state of peace or into the state of devotion to the Lord. Just as there are states of the mind, it is also necessary to understand what the mind is. If we think about each letter of the word mind, the first letter is M. M means Maya. The mind is Maya. Just as Maya changes, in the same way the mind also changes every moment. Like a bird going from one place to another place. But this mind can go without wings. After M the second letter comes I. I mean indulgence. Indulgence means to become absorbed. The mind becomes absorbed in any situation which it likes for a moment and then it leaves from there. Then it tries to become absorbed somewhere else. The third letter of mind is N. When the mind becomes absorbed, it is not silent. It makes noise. N means noise. The mind always makes noise. It keeps confusing you. It puts different kinds of voices inside you. It also puts them in your ears. And the last letter is D. D means distress. This is called being unhappy. So, the mind is Maya, it is illusion, it becomes absorbed, it makes noise in any state and in the end, it becomes only unhappy. Whatever work you do with your mind, look in your life by experiencing it. In the end you remain unhappy. You experience only sorrow. The mind gives only the appearance of momentary happiness, but that happiness does not exist. It is like the flowing water of a river. Therefore, you can never experience real happiness from the mind. Bliss is a very far away state. The mind only keeps confusing you. The mind confuses you in lust. It confuses you in wealth. When your desire for work or action is not fulfilled, the mind again and again takes you into different kinds of desires. The mind takes you into greed. The mind gives an appearance as if it is loving, but that is not love. It is only attachment. The mind confuses us in attachment. The mind brings pride into us. If we get a position or a high title or suddenly earn money, then a great pride arises. It takes us into the desire for alcohol. It takes us into the desire for gambling. In summary, it can be said that the mind keeps us only in the world, in wife, and in land. Either we run after wealth or after woman. For lust we go on increasing our property. Thus, the mind takes us into different kinds of temptations because it is like a bird that cannot stay in one place, and it is a bird without wings that keeps roaming. Sri Ramakrishna said in very simple words that the mind takes you only into gold and into body. It will take you either into wealth or into lust. Lord Rama always remains very far from the mind. But if Rama enters the mind, then with Lord Rama, a very high journey can be done. But this depends on your resolve and on the grace of the Lord. All practice is only to take you towards this. If you fail in lust, in wealth, and in desire, in greed, then a moment comes when you think that you should even commit suicide. In Western countries, such thinking is very common. But here in India, when a person becomes disheartened with lust, with wealth, with desires and with attachment, when he becomes disheartened with the world, with wife, and with land, then he begins to move towards the Lord. And as soon as he moves towards the Lord, he begins to recognize his origin. He dedicates his whole life to the Lord. By the impressions of past lives, a person can very easily move towards the Lord. If you remember your childhood days when you were 2 or 3 years old, or up to 4 years of age, the thoughts that came to you were related to your previous birth. And after 7 years of age, the thoughts that come are related to this present life. If you want to know about your past life, then look within and see what you used to do when you were 3 years old. What kind of thoughts came to you? From that you will be able to connect yourself with your past birth. To Mahatma Buddha, the thoughts of the Lord used to come naturally. Therefore, wherever he sat in a state of peace, he would go into meditation. By seeing a dead person, by seeing a sick person, by seeing an old man, his mind was so deeply struck that he left the world for the sake of attaining the Lord. After 6 years of hard practice, he attained the great void and realized the self. In the same way, Mahavir also from childhood itself was deeply devoted to the thoughts of the Lord, and when the time came, he too attained the realization of the Lord. When Shankaracharya's mother did not want to allow him to take sannyas, he said to her, "If you do not give me the permission for sannyas, then the crocodile will eat me and I will disappear from this world. But if you give me permission, then I will remain in the world. I will uplift the world to a higher stage, but I will remain detached from it. I will not leave the world, but I will live in it with renunciation." Then his mother thought, "It is better that I give him permission for sannyas, otherwise the crocodile will eat him and he will vanish from the world." Shankaracharya wanted to become one with the Supreme, so the Lord guided him on the path of renunciation in the world. Tulsidas was born in a Vedic family. His birth took place under the Mula star. Any child born under the Mula star is considered painful for the parents. It may even bring about their death. When Tulsidas was born, his mother gave him the name Ram Bhola. By astrological calculation, his father realized that this child would bring sorrow for them. At that time, astrology was highly developed, so he gave Tulsidas to the maidservant. The mother suffered greatly, but she was helpless. The child was separated from her. The maidservant took the child to her village, and within 2 or 3 years she also died. Now Tulsidas grew up in the streets, living by begging. Then such was the grace of the Lord that a Sadguru saw him. By seeing him, the Sadguru immediately realized that this boy could become very gifted. He took him under his shelter, brought him up, educated him, and made him a great scholar of Kashi. One great scholar of Kashi arranged the marriage of Tulsidas with a girl named Ratnagiri. By marrying her, Tulsidas shifted from the state of devotion to the state of desire. He completely forgot Lord Rama. Even for a single moment he could not remain without his wife. Whatever knowledge of the Vedas he had, he forgot it all. He fell from light into darkness. Once the brother of his wife Ratnagiri came to take his sister. Somehow Tulsidas sent her with him, but he could not even pass one single day without her. On that very day, in terrible rain, when he found no boat to cross the river, he mistook a dead body for a log of wood and crossed the river with it. He mistook a snake for a rope and reached Ratnagiri's house. Ratnagiri was greatly surprised that a man who had studied the Vedas so deeply, such a learned person, had become so lustful that he could not live even a single day without her. Coming to the window, Ratnagiri showed him, "You have come here holding a snake, and what you thought was a piece of wood was actually a corpse. You are so attached to a body of bones and flesh." Ratnagiri gave such a great strike of words to Tulsidas, saying, "It is my misfortune that I was married to you. For you nothing exists except this body of bones and flesh." Tulsidas was shattered within. He began to cry from his soul. In that moment he left the house, left his wife, and came to Kashi. Once again, he became one with Lord Ram. For many years he remained on the ghats of Kashi, applying tilak to devotees. He kept weeping for the Lord. Once a parrot came. The parrot was reciting very high Sanskrit mantras. Tulsidas was amazed. Wherever the parrot flew, he followed it. In the end, the parrot entered a cave. Tulsidas also reached there. There he had the vision of Sankat Mochan Hanuman. Hanuman told him that soon you will also have the vision of Lord Ram and Lakshman. And he remained absorbed in devotion like this. The story tells that once Lord Ram and Lakshman came, but he could not recognize them and applied tilak to them. Then Hanuman took again the form of that parrot to guide him, and once more he met Lord Ram and Lakshman, and then he was filled with devotion. The Lord gave him self-realization. He wrote the Ramcharitmanas. There is a very dear incident from his life. Once he was going to Delhi. He saw a dead body being carried. He, being one with the Lord and with the universe, heard the sound of life still in that body. He said to the relatives carrying the corpse, "This man is still alive." When they lifted him from the bier, the man stood up. This news spread everywhere, even to the king. At that time the king was Jahangir. He called Tulsidas to his palace and said, "Teach us this art also." Tulsidas replied, "I know no art. This is the glory of the Lord." But Jahangir did not believe. He put Tulsidas in prison. While in prison, in 40 days he wrote the Hanuman Chalisa. When Hanuman appeared, he came with a terrible army of monkeys to Jahangir's palace. The monkeys created such havoc that Jahangir's soldiers could not control them in any way. Then a wise man told Jahangir, "Release the great saint." As soon as he was released, all the monkeys also went away. This was the great state of Tulsidas. Where were he? Once he was with Lord Ram. Then he came into the company of lust. And again, coming back to Ram, he was absorbed in Lord Ram himself. So the Lord turns his devotees whichever way he wishes. He even shows them the world, so that no desires remain within them, and then he draws them back and merges them into himself. The state of every person's mind is sometimes with Lord Ram, then it shifts to lust, and when the Lord wishes, it again becomes the state of Lord Ram. And then the person returns once again to his home, to his own place. During the time of Mahatma Buddha, a very significant incident took place. There was a very cruel man. Whoever he saw, he would kill. After killing, he would take the fingers of the person and make a garland, which he wore around his neck. Till then, he had already made a garland of 99 fingers. Now he needed the fingers of only one more person. When Mahatma Buddha came to know about this, he went towards the hut of this cruel man. People tried to stop him many times, but Mahatma Buddha did not agree. When he reached him, the man said, "Why have you come here to die?" Mahatma Buddha replied, "You may kill me, brother. But before dying, please give me a few leaves from that tree." The man cut a whole branch with his axe and gave it to Buddha. Then Mahatma Buddha said, "Now put it back in the same place from where you cut it." The man said, "How is that possible?" Mahatma Buddha looked into his eyes and said, "If you cannot put it back, then you have no right to cut it in the first place. If you cannot give life back to those you kill, if you cannot reattach a branch to the tree, then you have no right to kill anyone." Hearing this, and seeing the radiance in Buddha's eyes and the fearlessness of Buddha, the cruel man named Angulimal fell at the feet of Mahatma Buddha and became his great disciple. This story of Angulimal is very widespread. It shows the fearlessness of Buddha, the radiance of his presence, and the brilliance of his eyes. Even the cruelest person bows down at the feet of one who is united with God, and such a person transforms. This is all the glory of Lord Ram. But in today's times, people, for the sake of their pride, for the sake of their wealth, kill even their own brothers. They kill even their fathers. Though they already have everything, still to increase their own pride, they commit such terrible deeds without any hesitation. You all must have heard the name of Hitler. Hitler had millions of Jews killed. In the beginning, Hitler wanted to become a painter. He went to a Jewish academy. But Hitler did not have enough talent. The Jew did not accept him. Or perhaps there were other reasons, it is difficult to say. But in any case, hatred began to grow in Hitler's heart. Slowly, in opposition to Jews, when he became the ruler of Germany, he was not satisfied even then. He wanted to conquer the whole world. For the sake of his pride, he attacked Russia and many other countries so that his name would spread across the world and his pride would increase. But God always brings down the head of the arrogant. That is why it is said, pride grows before a fall. Even after so many victories, when his war with Russia happened, his soldiers could not bear the extreme cold of Russia, and Germany was defeated. And Hitler, who wanted to gain pride, instead shot himself and ended his own life. He did not want to let go of his pride, but he gave up his life. In the same way, when Alexander the Great conquered the world, he was filled with arrogance. He wanted to go to his mother's feet and offer to her the honor and respect he had received across the world. But when he was returning, he became gravely ill. He was even ready to give all his earned wealth to the doctors. But the doctors could not give him even a few breaths so that he could meet his mother. The Supreme Lord does not take even a moment to destroy the pride of a person he wishes to humble. Even if you have spent your whole life trying to conquer yourself. In the same way Stalin killed many people. He did not want to die. For blood transfusions he replaced his bone marrow twice. It is a very difficult procedure. But in the end, he could neither maintain his health nor his kingdom. People hated him so much that even his dead body was not given respect. A person who lives in pride ends up in total destruction in the end. Similarly, Ravana committed everything with such cruelty and in the end, he was destroyed. There was a great king in Italy. He found a boy named Marcos. He saw great talent in him. He trained him for 20 years, divided his kingdom, and made him a great king. But when the boy became king, out of parental attachment, while his son was unfit, he wanted to put him on the throne to increase his own pride. But in just a few moments, his son ruined everything. So, in this world, those who do everything to increase their pride, when the time comes, everything is destroyed. Ram Krishna Bhagwan has written a very sweet story. On a tree there are two birds. One bird sits on the upper branch, and the other on the lower branch. The bird on the lower branch moves here and there, wandering like the mind. The bird on the upper branch observes everything and remains united with the Supreme Lord. The bird on the lower branch wanders its whole life, destroying everything in greed, attachment, and pride. Until we unite with the Lord, until we recognize our witness, until we develop our soul, the bird of the mind will keep wandering, and we will not reach the Lord. For the sake of pride, we will destroy ourselves. Pride and respect are temporary. Reaching the Lord and conquering our mind is the highest state. The Lord keeps us in this state so that we can conquer our mind. So that we become one with the Lord, without falling into any pride. The Lord always tests us. He will put us in lust through Ram. From lust, He will bring us back to Ram. But if we remain established in wisdom, attached only to Ram, then we will not have to go up and down the steps. In a short time, we will become one with the Supreme. We should all pray to the Lord that our mind may remain under our control. That we rise above lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. And like the bird of established wisdom, we may observe the world without wandering here and there. Then our life will become simple and we will easily merge into the Supreme. Thank you.